Today, we're going to talk about the WIDA Can Do Descriptors, and we're going to pop open possibilities with the power of I Can. We're going to answer two questions. Why are they important, and how can they help us better support our multilingual learners? Let's go ahead and get started. What are the Can Do Descriptors? The Can Do Descriptors provide examples of what multilingual learners can understand and communicate at different levels of English language proficiency. The descriptors are organized into two groups: the four language domains, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and the six proficiency levels: entering, emerging, developing, expanding, bridging, and reaching. The Can Do descriptors help us answer a question. What language can the students currently use to access grade level content? Rather than lowering the expectations, the descriptors help us provide access while maintaining rigorous learning goals. What are the Can Do descriptors and why are they important? The Can Do descriptors help teachers understand the language demands students can successfully engage with at their current proficiency level. When we understand what students can do, we can set realistic expectations, plan meaningful learning experiences, provide appropriate scaffolds, create opportunities for students to engage in academic conversations, and move students towards greater independence with language. The goal is not to keep students working at their current proficiency level. The goal is to use the current strengths as a bridge towards more complex language use. Think of the Can Do descriptors as a roadmap. They show us where students are now and help us plan where they need to go next. How do we use the Can Do descriptors for scaffolding? One of the most powerful ways to do this is during your lesson planning. Start by identifying the language students will need to be successful in the lesson. Then ask yourself, how can I make this language task accessible based on my student's proficiency level? For example, if the task requires a student to explain the causes of a historical event, a student at a lower proficiency level may use visuals, word banks, and sentence frames to identify key causes. A student at a higher proficiency level may explain relationships between causes using complete sentences and academic vocabulary. The content remains rigorous, but the language support changes based on the student's needs. Scaffolds that you may want to consider during your planning are sentence frames, word banks, visuals, partner discussion or rehearsal opportunities, closed reading routines, and model examples. Understanding proficiency level domains. There are four domains again: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In reality, students receive proficiency levels for each of the language domains. A student may be a speaking level 3, a reading level 2, and a writing level 1. This is why it's important to look beyond the overall composite score and examine each domain individually. When planning instruction, what language will students need to listen to, speak about, read, or write during the lesson? The teacher needs to match scaffolds and supports for proficiency levels, ensure that scaffold supports are targeted, include reading, writing, listening, and speaking in every lesson, give it multiple opportunities for students to practice speaking, and include interaction in every lesson. In closing, the WIDA Can Do descriptors help us focus on student strengths while intentionally planning for language growth. As you plan your next lesson, consider: what language do students need to be successful? What can students currently do with language? And what scaffolds help them move towards the next proficiency level? And then finally, you have a task. You're going to go into EduSkills and you're going to download the WIDA Can Do Descriptors name chart. There's an additional link located on the email that will show you step by step how to do this. If you have any questions, please reach out.